Religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this: to care for orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world.
I am so thankful for the Presbyterian home. They've helped me more than anyone could imagine, and I love my new job, which I could never have gotten if the home had not believed in me. They've provided me with a clean and safe place to live while I get on my feet, and I'm even taking some classes at the college. What was I doing before? I was living in my car. I had no family, no address, and with no clean clothes, no one would hire me.
I don't remember the exact day I got there, but it was in 1970. I do remember running away from the home. My dad asked me where I was going, and I told him I was coming to him. He said, "I don't know why. I don't want you."
What I learned at the home has stayed with me throughout my life. I'm 63 years old now. I'm so much better for having been there. I feel God was looking after me when He sent me there. It's hard to put into words what God and the church did for me.
Before we came to live at the Presbyterian home, I kept my kids inside all of the time because it just wasn't safe outside. It took everything I could make just to live in a dangerous place. I wanted something better for myself and my children, but we were living on the edge. It seemed like I could never get ahead.
The faces of the children served by the Presbyterian home change over time, but the mission to serve the least of these has never wavered.
I call it a crash course on adulthood because these girls are coming from many different backgrounds. Some of them were living in their cars. Many of my young ladies were couch surfing, to put it lightly. They were staying on a couch at this friend's apartment, then they would, get to be on a cot in this friend's house, and eventually that resource, was gone because a friend doesn't mind you staying for 2 days, but whenever you've been there a week or two, they're like, you need to go. And so many of my girls had kind of worn out their welcome and found themselves in vehicles and even in friends' vehicles. And so we bring them in and we have a safe haven for them. That's a huge part of this program, is we are a safe place for them to figure out what their future looks like.
The Presbyterian home ministers to those children and their families who do not have other resources. It is not an agent of the state, but serves those most in need.
The Presbyterian home is about children, and it always has been.
Thank you.
We're accepting referrals now from all across the state, maybe even some children from your community who need your help. And there will be even more opportunities to volunteer. We're celebrating the rebirth and the renewal of ministries that will enable us to live out the mission of the Presbyterian home, to be an agent of God's love, called to transform the lives of children and their families. With your support, we're transforming lives by helping children grow up to be the people that God meant them to be.